What is up? Welcome to the Next Guy Up podcast. We are back. The boys are back. We got a lot of news today. We got some stuff to cover. We have a huge transfer in Tennessee, in Knoxville. We have some Benedict Arnold action going on. We will talk about that. We'll talk about the thing that people need to hear today is the Next Guy Up take on the transfer portal situation. So that's what you're going to get.
Yep.
We got the takes. I think we got some solutions to fix it. Probably not, actually. I don't have any solutions.
We're big solutions guys.
Yeah,
we're
like
problem solvers.
We don't just point out the problems. We fix them. So we will be doing that. We have a lot of. It's kind of a mixed bag today. You know, we got a lot of stuff cooking. We have some should I watch that? There's been some TV out. Tins has got some hot takes he was sharing with the class.
Yep.
He's got some things that's on his mind. He's got to get it out.
Yep.
But we do have a fun show for you today. Do we want to? I was just talking about this. I think this could be a fun way to open the show. I was thinking about the torpedo bat situation in the MLB. If you're unfamiliar, they've redesigned the shape of the baseball bats, and some of the franchises in the MLB have been using them, and the bats are performing very well. Lots of dingers, lots of home runs.
That's what the people like to see.
The shape of the bat being better suited for like the sweet spot. I'm not exactly sure about the math behind all of it.
They're essentially they're taking wood from other parts of the bat that are useless and putting it more concentrated where the perfect spot for where the ball hits, so you get more power. You should launch better.
I like that.
You still have to hit the ball. That's my thing with the torpedo bats is everyone thinks it's just like you're playing wiffle ball now with this thing. No, you still have to hit a baseball that's going, 90 plus miles an hour. If you're not good at hitting a baseball, it doesn't matter how big your bat is.
True.
In theory.
Theoretically. So I was thinking about the idea of this has been kind of a fun innovation this year. Hopefully they don't ban it and they keep it around because it's one of those fun talking points. And I was thinking, what would be that in, say, football or basketball? What would be the innovation where they could be like, you know what? We're going to try and increase performance by 5%, but it's going to make a big impact on the game. Like this is going to be a game changer. Maybe changing the equipment, or my first instinct is in football, if you added like 5% more grip to the football.
Oh,
because you feel like it would decrease fumbles. It would make some of the circus catches a little bit easier.
Yeah.
If it's got a little bit more stick to it,
okay,
guys could be doing some one-handed stuff. It would kind of increase the level of doing something kind of fun, you know?
Yeah, the crazy one-handed stuff that we all like to see. I was thinking
drop passes aren't fun for anyone. No one wants to see a drop pass on the football field, but fun catches.
Yeah, fun catches. I like that. I think if you made the field 5 yards wider,
spread it out.
So I guess 10 total, 5 on each side, but like just a little, there's got a little bit more room to go east to west.
It would. You feel like it would change the game a good bit.
I mean, that's a lot more ground to cover.
For sure. More room to play. So I got a little bit of a wilder idea. In the NBA.
This one's good. I like this one.
This was a little more drastic, but
I want to see how this would work.
In the last 3 seconds of a shot clock, the rim grows like 20% larger. So if you wait till the very end of the shot clock, you have a better chance at hitting the basket than you did if you shot it earlier. Just to increase the suspense a little bit. It's like some strategy play. You want to wait till the very end. You got a better shot.
That's true. I I want to see that somehow, some way.
I think the other thing you could do is, I mean, this has been talked about some, maybe not by a lot of people. In the Papa Shot games where in the last 5 seconds it's double points.
Yeah,
I think you could do that in the last 30 seconds of both halves. Threes are worth 4 points and twos are worth 3 points. So it helps you make up a margin a little bit. So if you're shooting at the very end of the game, it's like a clutch bucket. It's worth an extra point.
Ooh, see, if you start throwing around clutch bucket, because they have a whole award now, most clutch player.
They do.
And it's they do clutch points. It's points scored at the end of halves or the end of the fourth quarter, or whatever they call it, basketball.
Yeah, it's worth an extra point. So then, a 4 point, a 4 point play is really doable. 5 point play if you get fouled.
That's true.
That's something.
Wonder how many more points LeBron would have in his career if they did that. Probably a lot.
Probably a couple.
Couple more.
5 or 6 more points. I think that could be fun. Obviously, it feels more exhibition-y. It feels a little bit Mickey Mouse, but I think it would add a fun wrinkle to games.
Yeah, I think so. I think something to do.
We're not used to it, so no one would like it, but it could be fun.
It'd be fun if they did that for All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good way to kind of jazz up the All-Star game because it kind of sucks for NBA at least.
Yeah, it can for sure.
NFL, they don't even do one anymore. It's just competitions, random recess game competitions.
What if in the NFL? I'm trying to think of something. It's kind
NFL's hard.
NFL, it's tough to change football rules because all of the equipment is kind of just standard. It's not like there's anything crazy.
There's not really a big advantage to any of it. Golf, making the holes
oh, that's a fun one.
The further out you are, somehow the bigger the hole is, the further you are from it, and then as you get closer, it gets smaller. Every time you hit the ball, it gets a little smaller. Increase hole-in-one chances.
That's interesting. I like a decision where you get to make a choice between one thing or another with higher stakes, with a better reward, but it's harder to do.
More risk.
Yeah. Speaking of golf, Masters.
Yeah. I need to just formally announce that I'm breaking up with Cam Smith. Ooh. Cam Smith, he was hot on the PGA Tour a couple years ago. He's from Australia, so that makes him cool. He's got a mullet, cool mustache, and just kind of a wild, zany guy who lived in Jacksonville when he was playing on the PGA Tour. Then he took a bag of money from Liv, and now he kind of sucks at golf. And I keep betting him, and I'm done. We're breaking up.
Wow.
Officially. It sucks. I really liked him, but I got to find someone else. Bryson showing out for Liv.
Suddenly becoming one of the most likable guys in the sport somehow.
After being the most hated for a while.
YouTube has completely rehabilitated him somehow.
Yeah.
Electric. He had that huge putt on 18 today.
Yep. To bring it to 2.
Stuff. Yeah, it was electric.
What's funny is, so I have Rory in our dynasty thing that I'm getting killed in. I don't root for Rory at all. I picked him because he wins he doesn't win majors. It's been a storyline. He hasn't won a major in 11 years or something. I don't like Rory McIlroy. I think he's really obnoxious and kind of just annoying. I'm rooting for Bryson. I took a little bet on him today. I bet on Scotty this morning. He fell behind the pack. So
yeah,
I'm going all in on Bryson. I hope he wins. It'd be funny because a Liv guy winning would be funny.
Yeah,
they haven't put him on a feature group all week. He's not had any coverage until I guess Sunday. We're recording on Saturday night.
He's been really consistent.
Yep.
he had like a 69, 68, 69 today, I think. So he's playing solid. I'm not really a golf guy, but so that's as far as my analysis is going to go there. Fun
He's
guy.
been really consistent.
Yeah.
Rory, like it's a known thing. He's going to choke. He choked today. He started out the first 5 holes with birdies, and then he got all the way up to like -13,
Sheesh.
and then choked it all the way to -9, and then now he got up back to 12. So good for him. But you just kind of know, like, there's something in the back of your head that's like Rory's going to do something and implode, and the internet is going to laugh and laugh and laugh. It's just how the world works.
Okay, I've got one more on the idea of basketball improvements. It is no wait, it was football. I'm sorry. This is a football improvement. 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
I think if you go for 2-point conversion, it should be from like the 5-yard line, but you get 12 players.
I like that.
Make it completely different, like a play that's totally unique.
Yeah,
it's nothing like any other play call because you've got an extra person. So it's from the 5, but you get an extra guy.
I like that.
You think that would be fun? That would be fun to watch because it would be totally different than every other play in the game.
And that 12th person can be whatever you choose, like a skill guy or
another wide receiver,
an offensive lineman if you wanted. Yeah,
blocker.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
And that's so far enough you can't just like tush push it in. It would still be like you got to run a real play from the 5.
Yeah, you got to draw something up.
I
like that.
It would make teams make a real decision about 1 versus 2. Like right now, unless it's late game situation, no one's going for 2.
Yeah,
it's just automatic go for 1. But it would make people stop and think like, we got an extra guy. We really like these plays that we've drawn up. I think they could work. It could really change scoring in the NFL in a fun way.
We need to send this clip to Roger.
Let's run that.
Get us on the competition committee.
I mean, they changed kickoffs to be a little bit more of a gimmick. It's a little
but they just copied that. They copied that from XFL because the NFL is a creative
conversion idea.
Yeah,
maybe the XFL would jump onto that.
It's you know who's like the commissioner of the XFL?
Who?
It's somebody like dad.
Oh, did you see Andrew Luck fired the coach? Right?
Yeah, Stanford coach, and then he brought in Frank Wright.
Big stuff.
He was one of his coaches in Indy under Doug Peter, and he was also on. Frank Wright was one of Doug's guys for a long time. Shout out,
Big Doug,
Dougie P.
Shout out.
Back to high school football in Louisiana.
If I got any more as the episode goes on, I'll call him out. All right. They just got to come to me.
They got to just pop in.
I mean, like people do stuff like this all the time. Like the designated hitters and stuff in baseball is basically like, we had a guy who literally just hit, didn't have to do anything else.
Sure,
it's fun. I mean, it's just like once it gets integrated, it's like becomes a normal part of the game.
Yeah,
12th man on field.
That I think that could that would be fun. That would be awesome. Defenses would be crying. It's an unfair advantage. No one cares about you, defense. We're trying to score points.
Better stop it. You'd have a lot more like 8-7 games, or like
square-gamis.
1 point across. You would definitely more square-gamis. I think you have to make the 2-point conversion as appealing as the 1-point conversion.
Yeah.
Like
make it a true 50-50 if someone's going to run
make a decision every time.
Yeah.
You may like the 2-point conversion needs like a 25% chance of working.
Mm-hmm.
Where the 1-point conversion has a 90% chance of working. So it's like is the extra point worth the risk?
I like that.
Okay. I'll send in some recommendations to XFL.
Yeah, XFL.
Mr. Luck.
Your people get in touch with our people.
Yeah. It's coming.
All right. All right. Well, that does not transition us at all to what I was about to say.
Yeah, we crushed the Masters already, so we're good there.
Yeah, Masters. I have an announcement. I have another announcement. So I don't remember how long ago it was. I think I said I was going to not drink out of soda fountains for 6 months.
You did say that.
Because I needed Donald Trump to fix this problem in America. Because
biggest problem in America right now.
Now he's been busy. We've got the tariff. We got the tariff off with China. This is a political podcast, so we will be diving into tariffs and the 120% tariff on China. Just joking. I don't know anything about that.
I've run the numbers. I think it's going to work.
Sounds like a good number. Everything we get in America is from China. So, yeah, I think they're going to be willing to do that.
Me too. I think, I think in about 12 years, the returns are going to be worth all of the pain right now. That's whenever I have calculated it's all going to come out in the wash.
Yeah. So there we go. This is financial advice from the Next Guy Up podcast.
We know things.
We know we're really smart about political stuff.
Now here's our main political correspondent, Mason, in the field in China.
Yep, that's where he
is on the
reporting live from Import-Export Central
from the Apple
of China.
warehouse in
China. Thanks, Mason.
He will not be coming back to the U.S.
Mason's in the exact opposite of China right now. He's in Indiana. He's in the middle of Indiana.
As far from China as you can possibly get.
Literally. I bet there's not even like a Chinese restaurant where he is. There's not a Panda Express 50 miles close to Mason right now.
Okay.
All right. Well, so I know Donald's been busy doing that, and then he fixed the water pressure in America. Shout out. Didn't know that was the thing that was happening. But so I think soda fountains are got to be on his list upcoming, like maybe one or two more down. But I will put a caveat. I've been doing Baja Blast because that's never messed up. It's always fine.
Yeah.
But we did Wendy's the other night. Oh, so good. So Wendy's. I got a Coke. It tasted like their holiday Coke that they were running at Christmas, which was like cinnamon. Why? Why did it taste like that? Good question. Don't know.
That's a good question.
But it was still just carbonated, overcarbonated. It was just gross. It was just nasty. I'm so done with soda fountains still sucking. So update on the boycott. I'm still boycotting.
Okay.
Another thing I'm boycotting myself for putting myself in this situation. Men out there, you're in charge of a lot of stuff in your house. One of them is the keys to things, to your garage, to your storage buildings, lockers, whatever you got. I have a storage building in my house. There's a little shed out here, and it came with the house when we bought it. It came with a set of keys, the spare key and the main key on one keychain. And I've always said, I've joked about this before. I've said, it'd be really good if we lose this because they're together. Why don't I separate them? And I never did.
Yep.
Well, it finally happened this week, folks. I went out to the shed. I got something, brought the keys in. I guess I set them down. Macy, my 7-year-old, said, yeah, I saw them the other day on top of my toy kitchen. I didn't touch them because I know that those go to the shed and I'm not supposed to touch them. I was like, you're suspect number one now.
Yeah.
Because and then admitting that you didn't touch it, you touched it. So I had to break into my shed. Morgan needed something for her party planning event stuff that she does. Someone was renting stuff for her Wednesday night. So Wednesday afternoon, I was like, hey, where's the key? I'll go get that stuff for you. And she's like, oh, I don't know. So couldn't find it. So I had to take the door hinges off with a drill. I'm out there. Just it's a whole thing. My neighbor came over, was like, everything okay? I was like, not now, neighbor. I'm busy. Everything's not okay. Lost my key. So then had to break the handle to get it off. Had to go up to Crossville where this thing was built to get a new one because it's a custom built shed.
Run some fancy sheds out here.
Yeah, it came with the house. I wouldn't pay for this thing. It looks like it's expensive. And had to pay $10 to get a new one. And I've already separated the 2 keys.
Yep.
One of the keys is on my personal car keychain, so it
Mm-hmm.
can't get lost. Then the other one will be hitting in an undisclosed location that only I will know. So if I die, I guess that's like the only bad part. No one will be able to get in.
The funny thing is going to be when you find the keys. The old ones.
Yep. I made that joke. You know when it's kind of like tense in your house and it's like too soon for a joke?
Yeah.
So I was a little frustrated with everyone, Morgan and Macy. I was like, guys, this is why we don't touch the key. I'm the only one who's allowed to touch the key. Why are you guys touching the keys? Now it's lost. Look what you've done. You know, I was a little bit too aggressive and sarcastic and mean because whatever, you know. So It was too soon to make a joke, but I made it today. I was like, so where do we think we're going to find the key here in about a month? Everybody chuckled.
Started crying.
Yeah, no, we'll find it. It'll pop up. It'll be great. It'll be a funny story.
I think one of your dogs ate it, probably.
That was a theory in the house.
Yeah.
One time Macy hid my wallet when she was really little, and I bought all new. I had to like cancel all my cards and get everything new driver's license, and then I found it in a pair of shoes that like I never wear.
That's awesome. Shout out to Macy.
Yep.
Maybe she did it again. Maybe it's Tatum.
Ooh. Little tag team action there.
Tatum said, let me cook.
Speaking of which, Tatum is awake. For everyone out there, podcast life isn't for everyone. All right, I've got my 7-year-old watching my 5-month-old. My middle child, the 5-year-old, is asleep. Luckily, so I got one down, but the 7-year-old
could possibly go wrong.
She just texted me on her iPad and said, "He just spit up. What do I do?" I'm like, "You just wipe him up. He'll be fine. I'll put him in the bath when I get out."
Gosh. Morgan, if you're listening to this did not happen. He's joking.
This is parody for clips.
Tatum's been asleep the whole time. It's fine. Okay. Wait, we didn't get there. You had a take about?
Oh, okay, yeah.
The whole point of the story.
Yeah, so we went to Crossville by this handle, and as we're like passing it, we passed this old school ice cream place where they make their own milk. You could buy like gallons of milk. They also had like steaks and stuff, I guess, from the cows. It's a whole ordeal. Maple syrup, honey, all kinds of stuff you could buy. But they had ice cream. I'm a big ice cream guy. I love ice cream a lot. We're going on vacation at the end of May. I've already said that we are going to eat ice cream every single night.
That sounds like a fun vacation.
Yeah, it's going to be great. That's like literally all I care about is just going to get ice cream. So we walk in this place, and I got a waffle cone, 2 scoops for me and Macy, so we both got one. It was $8. It'd have been $8 by myself at Baskin Robbins for that. Now, no disrespect to Baskin Robbins, a fine establishment, you know. But I'm saying let's get back to the mom and pop ice cream shops. Find these places, and support them because it's so much better.
I thought that was going a different direction, because mom and pop are like small time. They're not mom and pop, but like the smaller franchised coffee places are like the opposite.
Yeah, no, I'm
$9 for like a coffee or whatever.
Nope. You know? Give me Dunkin' Donuts coffee for $3.
Turns out,
some mom and pops I don't. Yeah, some mom and pops I don't support. Some mom and pops I do. Ice cream, check.
Back to it.
Coffee, uncheck.
I like that. I feel like ice cream mom and pop could be a viable business option.
Maybe not in Cookville because everybody's like, Cream City's the greatest thing that's ever happened to America. Look at our neon sign.
Dang. He's shooting shots, everybody. Watch out.
We're out here doing fundraisers for Cream City's neon sign. Last time I checked, they're a business. They can pay for their own neon sign. What are we doing fundraisers for?
Dairy Queen's right down the road.
Yeah, and it's
Perfectly
better.
good Blizzard.
I'll say it. Cream City, overrated.
There you go. I think you already said it with the sarcastic voice earlier.
Yeah, it's all right. I just want to make sure it's clear for anyone who's not aware.
Just make sure.
Just make sure I'm not allowed back.
I like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's get some of our other fun stuff out of the way. We got some sports stuff to cook on a little bit later, but there's been some new Marvel stuff cooking. The new Daredevil TV show is out. I was hyping it up a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about doing the last episode's not out yet, so the season finale comes out this coming week. So I thought I'd do a little should I watch that if you wanted to catch up.
I need to catch up.
We got some more coming up. Andor season 2 very soon.
I know it's been sports. This is finally I can catch up on TV shows. Finally,
yeah.
Right now,
they're coming out like 3 episodes at a time. Yeah. So Daredevil, I was gonna do a quick little should I watch that to try and just keep you up to date. It's a fun show. This is I would not call it a sequel. They called it Daredevil Born Again because it's kind of a rebirth of this character in a different way. The first episode, some pretty drastic things happen. It's pretty clear that they're trying to push things in a different direction. But overall, a lot of the vibe and tone is similar to the original show, especially the further you get in the season. It seems like the closer they are to the original tone. There's a change in direction about halfway through. It was kind of a mending together of two different ideas. It seems like if you followed this production at all, you saw that Disney really wanted to go a totally different direction. A lot of the cast was like, I don't think that's a good idea. So they ended up kind of making two shows and putting them together. But the further you get in the season, the better it gets. Now here at the end, it feels a lot like vintage Daredevil. Wilson Fisk and Kingpin are back at it. We got some returning characters. And overall, I've really enjoyed this show. I've really enjoyed getting to be back with some of the characters. If you like the Netflix show, I think you will like this one. Get past the first couple episodes, and especially it gets a lot better. It gets more cohesive. So I think it's a good show. I think it's fun. I think it's a little bit of a return to form there. I'm pretty excited about Andor season 2 as well. They've had some trailers come out. I'm doing a little bit of a rewatch of the first season because I remember a lot of things, but there's some things I don't remember, and I want to be ready, primed up, ready to roll for season 2. So some fun stuff coming out. Thunderbolts. They've been releasing some clips. I'm still on the train that Thunderbolts could be a success. Call me crazy.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Thunderbolts.
I'm not sure I will go to the theaters to watch it unless reviews are really good.
Yeah.
If it gets really hyped up and people are like, wow, this is the best thing since Endgame or whatever, I may go. If it's just like, yeah, this was a fun movie, which I think is probably what's going to happen, I will wait for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's just
pretty quick to get it on there too.
They are. That's why. And it's part of the, I'm not sure it's a great business model because there's a lot of people like me and you, I think.
Yeah.
Who are like, unless it's an event, I'm probably just not, because of how when you have kids, it's getting to the movies is not easy.
Especially when like
expensive and
like Megan, she doesn't really care about going to go see a Marvel movie. My wife Morgan does not care about going to see it. So like I think the last 2 times I've been to a theater for a Marvel movie is I've gone to Knoxville to go see it with Zach. Where I've just been like, hey Morgan, you got the kids today. I'm gonna go watch this movie you don't care about with Zach and Mason because this is the only way I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. If things are trend and Doomsday is looking like it's gonna be a big one, that may be a movie worthy experience, you know. I know I'm part of the problem here with the downturn of theaters, but I'm sorry. It is what it is, you know. Especially because I can watch it 3 months later on Disney Plus. It does help.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of Disney Plus, do you want to do 10 seconds on Snow White?
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, it's a 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I called this a long time ago. One of the biggest flops Disney's ever had.
Yeah, I think even without all of Rachel Ziegler's terrible media tour, I still don't think it would be a good movie. I still think
I
it
don't
would have
think it would
bombed.
be good. I think people would have watched it more. I think it would not have bombed as bad. I mean, a lot of the people who are like, wow, this movie, I'm not watching it because of what she said, probably would not have gone anyways. You know, it's mostly, I mean, it's a movie for kids. And at the end of the day, you're either trying to touch on nostalgia for adults or you're trying to touch on kids, not touch kids, but that wasn't right. Yeah.
But it does stink because they've now they've essentially canceled the Tangled project. They were going to do a live action Tangled, which Macy's a big fan of Tangled, so that would have been fun if they would have stuck with that. So I don't know. She wanted to watch. She asked me. It was funny. She goes, can I watch Snow White?" And I thought she was talking about the new version of Snow White. And I was like, I don't know if we want to watch that. It's not really got, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. She goes, "What do you mean you haven't watched it yet? It's a really old movie." And I was like, "Oh, you mean the old?" "Yeah, sure. Go for it." So I'm glad I didn't just turn on the new one for her. I don't know that I would. Don't want to ruin the nostalgia for her.
The nostalgia she has.
Yeah. She only knows one Snow White.
Yeah, the real one.
The only one.
Okay. Do we have any NFL news before we kind of we end here with some college news?
Yeah, just that Aaron Rodgers is holding the Steelers hostage.
Fun.
Without even being on their team. Like he did this to the Jets being on their team. But now he's like got the Steelers in this weird situation where he's like, "Yeah, I think I want to play for you guys, but I also just might retire. Who knows what I'm going to do? I'm mysterious. I'm Aaron Rodgers." Because this is the only landing spot for him anymore. Is the Steelers?
Yeah,
the Steelers are nothing.
What's the best case scenario for this year for Aaron Rodgers? What's his ceiling?
I don't know. I don't know how.
It seems like one of those things where it's like, are you worth all of the attention that you're getting?
That's what. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like he's not a top 10 quarterback anymore. He's just not.
Yeah.
He didn't miss a ton of time he didn't miss any time this year for injury. He's like 42. Not everybody's Tom Brady can play at a high level top 2 quarterback level at 45 years old. It's just not. This is not going to happen. And I don't know if the Steelers are good, so he could go on a run with them. They've got a good defense and they've got a good defense. They've got weapons, but I don't know. I just don't see it working. If I'm the Steelers, I say we're just going to draft Jackson Dart or try to trade up for Shedeur Sanders and do that instead of doing this dumb bridge quarterback, win 9 games, make the playoffs, and pick at 17 again every year and never be able to get a quarterback.
Is the idea of a bridge quarterback just completely false? Has it ever worked? Has a bridge quarterback ever been successful?
No, it never works because quarterbacks don't sit. You cannot draft a quarterback high up and then just let him sit. Jordan Love was probably the last one that's worked for.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers wasn't a bridge quarterback. No team just goes and signs a mid quarterback and then has a high drafted rookie behind him and then doesn't play.
It feels like it should work. I just don't. I think the only way it works is if you have a really like a veteran quarterback ahead that actually cares about. It doesn't happen that often. Like you feel like they've tried to do this so many times and it just never works. Like you feel like the ultimate example is Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers back in the day, right?
But Favre never wanted Rodgers to like take his job. Like he was always like, no, I'm the quarterback. I'm still good. That's why he went to the Jets and then the Vikings. It's like what Aaron Rodgers has done. Like he's trying to show that he was still the guy.
Yeah.
I think the only example I can think of is Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had a lot of success with Baltimore, won a Super Bowl. And then towards the end of his career, he kind of like he lost a step, wasn't as good. They drafted Lamar, and he like really did help Lamar when he became the starter. Yeah. And he's kind of done that in a couple other places now where he's like okay with being the backup or the guy who's the starter, but he's trying to help the guy below him. Like he did that. He tried to do that with Anthony Richardson this year. I bet he does that in Cleveland this year because he did sign there. I bet he is the starter, and then he's going to I see him as a guy who will help out whoever Cleveland end up drafting.
Yeah, you know who there is one good bridge quarterback in the NFL today.
Oh boy, here we go.
You know who it is. See, you know, as soon as I said it, you thought of one guy.
He's not a bridge quarterback. He's a backup quarterback.
But he could be a bridge quarterback.
You think so?
He would be electric. I mean, even if he's a backup to a young rookie, I think, could you imagine, let's say you had Cam Ward out there as your starting quarterback. Could you imagine a better guy in the league to have as the backup to like support him than Jameis Winston? Would he not be valuable to have there where if something did happen, he could play, but he's going to be the ultimate like good locker room guy. He's going to be support. He's going to have the veteran stuff. He's going to know the stuff that rookies need. Like that's the mentor piece you want. He is the guy for that.
All right, so it's not that I don't believe in Jameis Winston. I think he's electric. He's fun. He probably would be I think he would be a good asset to a young rookie quarterback who's drafted highly. Like I mean, he was former first round draft pick or first overall draft pick, starter in the league for a long time. So yeah, he could do all that. I just Jameis Winston is either your backup quarterback or if he is your starter, I don't like a bridge guy. Like you're kind of expecting just to go out there and lose and kind of be bad. Jameis is a wild card. Like he'll win you a game. He could lose you a game too. Maybe 3, but you know, he could win you one. He has been delivered from pick sixes though.
That's amen. I think they should have an award for backup quarterback of the year.
Backup quarterback. So like best hype guy.
Yeah, it's like a 6-man award.
Yeah,
but it's
a 6-man who never plays.
Yeah, you can't actually start or else you're eliminated from contention. You can only be backup guy.
What's his name? Daniels. Chase Daniels would have he would have won that. He would have won that award a lot. Guy made $10 million to throw. I think it's like he threw 50 attempts in the NFL in regular season.
There's a couple of former Vols who are having some pretty good backup quarterback seasons.
I know.
Hooker. Joe Milton.
Yeah, Joe Milton's officially a backup now.
Joe. Yeah.
He'll get some starting time because Dak's always hurt. Dak always gets hurt at least once.
Shout out. My God, Joe Milton. Everyone doubted him, and look at him.
Everyone still should be doubting him.
That's fine. Guess what? He's backup of the year.
He lit up some third string guys against the Bills who had already locked up a playoff spot and the Cowboys traded away more than the Patriots. Like it's just the Cowboys. I'm telling you, man, they're slowly turning into like a very bad franchise.
Yeah, like the Browns.
Yeah,
the Titans.
I didn't bring them up.
Yeah, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do Titans talk today.
Yeah, we've got the NFL draft will be next Monday's episode.
Ooh.
We can talk a little NFL draft because that'll be the week of. see where we're at. We should have some rumor seasons should be done. We should know what a couple teams are aiming to do. Maybe we'll have some trades. Maybe Aaron Rodgers will figure out what he's doing.
Probably not.
Probably not. Coward.
Okay. Well, let's wrap up with probably if not for the Masters, probably one of the biggest college football things of the day for sure. Nico Iamaleava entering the spring transfer portal after a wild story. He was apparently participating in team practices all week. He went out and had dinner with all the quarterbacks on Thursday night. Friday morning, didn't show up for practice, didn't show up for meetings, refused to answer any phone calls from any teammates or coaches, and the team was informed that he was in fact entering the spring transfer portal, and he is no longer a part of your Tennessee Volunteers. There is speculation that he was. I'm not even sure speculation, maybe just fact. He was asking for an enormous amount of money. He's making what was a groundbreaking amount of money, $2 million per year. It was kind of the first huge contract that was released in the NIL. Mm-hmm. It prompted the University of Tennessee filing a lawsuit against the NCAA and doing this whole mess. And now here we are, a year later. Nico is in the transfer portal, and that's what a story. What a wild ride the last couple of days it's been for Tennessee. Orange and white game we're recording this on Saturday, so orange and white game was today. Nico-less. People were pretty mad about it.
Yeah,
understandably so. Quarterback room is currently a true freshman, and a redshirt freshman. So it's interesting stuff.
Yeah, what I hope happens from this. There's a lot of things, but what I hope happens from this, I know this won't happen. He obviously has a destination probably in mind if he entered the transfer portal, but I hope none of the big schools. I hope none of the big schools take him. I hope he has to go to like Oregon State or San Diego State. You know, like a little mountain, like something like that.
I don't
knock him down a peg.
I would not be surprised if he ends up at UCLA or USC. I also would not be surprised if he ends up in the Big 12 somewhere. If he ends up like
Texas Tech.
Yeah, a high octane kind of.
That's a big one I've seen
a lot. Texas Tech, UCLA, and USC are the big ones. Yeah, there's a lot of programs out there. I'm not sure there's any that are going to pay him $4 million. What an absurd amount of money.
Yeah, but he's not even earned. Like I don't know. Even last summer, I wasn't buying into the Nico like hype train. It's pretty. I don't know. I don't like a run first quarterback, and I just didn't feel like. I mean, he was good for Heupel's offense for what he likes to do, run and shoot and quick read and all that good stuff. But I don't know. I'm not devastated that he's gone, especially like the way he's treated it. I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, let's just move on.
Yeah, the national news has and national kind of response has honestly been very pro Tennessee and anti Nico and his family, which is kind of different. Usually the national narrative is pretty anti Tennessee because we do it to ourselves. I mean, it is what it is. But
listen, Twitter gets one coach unhired one time, and then you get labeled a bad fan. You know,
yeah, you're not wrong about that. But
throw one golf ball at Lane Kiffin, and the world's ending.
Mustard bottle. Yeah. And there's certainly been some things that have happened, but this one seems like Twitter was not involved. Luckily,
yeah.
Nico and his family chose this. Nico's dad was on Twitter making some crazy statements. Did you see this, Tim?
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
Oh, yep. You need to look into that one.
Oh, okay.
He
send me some of that. I know you got him bookmarked or liked.
Yeah, I'll basically he came he's kind of been the orchestrator of all of this, it would seem. This Pete Nakos was originally dropped the story about Nico potentially entering the transfer portal. Nico's dad, his name is Nick, did not was not pleased with that and had something to say about how he was characterized, I think. And he kind of went on a little bit of a Twitter tirade that did not look good for him at all. And it became pretty clear he was the one that was kind of moving the chess pieces around here, talked Nico into kind of handling it the way he did, which was by all accounts just pretty much the worst way you could handle it, which was just not showing up and just it seemed like they were, and the whole thing has a perception that the Imaliava family was trying to strong arm Tennessee program by waiting this late into a time whenever the spring transfer portal is very, very limited in quarterbacks. I read something like 42 of the, I'm going to mess up the stat. It was something like 42 teams had already got a quarterback out of the transfer portal this this year. And so it seems like the people who have already needed a quarterback have picked up all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The remaining quarterbacks are very few and far between. There's a 5-star in the portal if anyone's interested right now. But other than that, it's pretty dry. And so you're leaving your team. He was trying to strong arm the team and say, if you don't give me this money, I'm just going to leave. Tennessee kind of called his bluff, and he was like, he kind of was forced to leave at that point. He does not have a destination. I don't think there's anyone that's even going to pay him the money that Tennessee was paying him left in the portal. And so I think he's going to end up getting paid less. He's going to be playing for probably a worse team. It's because all the teams have quarterbacks. I don't understand what he kind of just played it very poorly. And now Tennessee's in a pretty bad situation. A team that had playoff aspirations. Tins was talking about the over-under. Win total was at 9.5.
Yeah, minus money.
It happened.
As of like 3 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Before, because it became like officially official this morning. I was looking at some stuff, and it was 9.5 wins for UT, minus 140. And then once it became official, it's now dropped to 8.5 plus money. So the books are telling you Nico transferring is worth a win and a half.
Yeah, now we're it's the difference between a playoff appearance, probably, right? I think we're still in an era where 10 wins probably gets you into the playoffs. So that's the difference between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs.
Yep.
Which feels honestly kind of right. Depending on what happens, obviously, we do have a couple of guys waiting. Jake Merklinger, redshirt freshman. George McIntyre, true freshman, 4-star guy. We got some talent still floating around the program. Everyone was kind of hyping up those guys, saying, they're going to get the job done. We'll see. I think that they're going to have to go after someone in the transfer portal still and hope they can entice someone to Tennessee with a pretty big paycheck. Now that the $2 million that were set aside for Nico has been opened up, we cleared some cap space. Tens, do you have any overarching takes? I know that these takes are flying around everywhere, and they're kind of no one really has an original take other than just the system is broken or whatever. But do you have any takes on the transfer portal NIL situation in college athletics?
Yeah, I get. I don't like the take that it's ruining college football or college sports in general. Because I was pretty pro the players deserve to be paid. These universities make a ton of money. I mean, astronomical amount of money from TV deals, and players weren't getting anything. So I'm cool with players getting paid, but this is where we created a system before it was like had rules, because now we have this stuff going on. There's really no rules to it. It's kind of just the Wild West. And so this trial and error, It's unfortunate that Tennessee had to be the trial and error, and we've lost, the biggest quarterback prospect that's come in since Peyton, right? Like, I mean, am I crazy for saying that? Like, Nico was like a really high recruit, like
yes, he was the
across the
number one
country.
recruiter of the class by all
Right.
accounts. Yeah.
Last time that happened was Butch Jones telling Trevor Lawrence he didn't want him there.
That's tough.
That's tough. And T. Higgins. Could have had them both. But he got nothing. Shout out Butch Jones. Brick, brick, brick. So this is where I think there has to be these guys are getting paid. They're professionals at this point, in a way. There should be contracts. I agree that there should be some kind of stipulation in contracts. There has to be. I'm so tired of the transfer portals when they're allowed to be open because of enrolling in school. Like, are we really going to like keep doing this fake thing where, well, they can only enroll in classes for these X amount of days? Like, it's the same that happened during the college football playoffs. The Penn State backup quarterback who has packages, like played a lot for him this year, entered the transfer portal because it was in the middle of the playoffs because it was when he had to register for school. Like, that's dumb. So I think we got to work on that. I think there has to be some contracts.
Yeah, I think there's some things you can put in place to help.
Yeah.
I think something like if your team is still playing, you can't transfer. I think that seems like an obvious one. I think that can be contractual. I think
Nico should
do that. Bowl games are going to go away if you don't start writing in something about guys participating in bowl games.
Yeah.
They'll cease to exist. I think the one I could see happening is some kind of contract with, I mean, then it's, I don't know, it is a slippery slope, but something, at least like either limiting transfers like they used to, like one transfer, total. I mean, that would help significantly a lot of the moving. I don't know if that would ever go through at this point in time and where we're at in the system. I don't know if they could reinstate that, but I think that would really help. I think you could do contracts, like you said, at least like 2 years,
Yeah.
We'll pay you this much for 2 years. If you want to go to the NFL, that's fine, but you can't go to another team. 2 years.
Yeah. I've seen it's like you agree to an NIL deal out of high school and it goes up each year that you're at the university.
Yeah.
And if you leave and transfer somewhere else, then but then it's a universal, then you're talking about salary cap. Like, it's too I don't know.
Yeah. I've seen that as well. If you're talking about through the university.
Yeah. There's some schools that are going to have more money to spend than others. But there has to be a system. I don't like the transfer portal dates. That's a big thing I don't like. Mm-hmm. I think there should be a set time. You have these 2 weeks, whatever it is. That's your transfer portal window. There's no more going in and out after that. I agree. I think a one transfer should be a rule, especially for college basketball. See, I know the Nico thing is big, but to me, it's affecting college basketball more than it's affecting football, I think. Because really in football, it's just the quarterbacks kind of all changing around. That's like a really big deal, at least in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, like, how much is a receiver or running back really making that much of a difference?
Yeah.
In the transfer portal. But in college basketball, it's a pretty big difference. Like, if Cooper Flagg were to transfer somewhere else this year, like if he came back and transferred, like that'd be a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with college basketball is that the top programs are doing even more hoarding of the talent.
Yeah, I read there's going to be 8
out
teams.
Of high school either. That's the problem. Kentucky's whole their whole system used to be, we're going to get all of the best recruits out of high school, and then they may play for 1 year and then they're going to leave. Well, now those teams, Kentucky's and Duke's and North Carolina's and Kansas, whatever, name them, have the ability to say, well, this guy had an awesome season freshman year at this Big 12 school, this mid-major school, whatever it is. we're going to offer a bunch of money. Now we're going to just collect talent from everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be out of high school anymore. It can be collecting it from other teams. So it's a rich get richer situation, which is kind of always what this was going to look like, probably. But
right,
it's fun if you're Duke or
a school with a lot of money,
Kentucky, or you can just create these super teams with the best players from across the nation. But
there's gonna be there's a rumor there's gonna be 8 teams with $10 million in college basketball lineup next year. 8 teams. It's a big chunk of cheddar.
The reality is there's going to be a lot of coaches around the country. I mean, Josh Heupel to an extent has dealt with this, where you're going to get you work really, really hard. You put a ton of time and energy into getting a freshman, like a 4 or 5 star freshman athlete, on your team. You coach them up for a season. You watch them grow. They have a good first season, and then they roll somewhere else to win a championship or to compete. We're going to see that a lot. I think it's going to be really a huge bummer for those teams where those guys have a really up and coming freshman guy who they're really excited about, and he is going to leave and go somewhere to make more money.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge bummer. Yep. I mean, that's my take.
I also think if it comes out true that Nico's dad, who is essentially his agent, has been shopping him, that Nico should lose some kind of eligibility.
Yeah, that was the other piece of this story is Dan Lanning factors into this story.
Yeah.
Apparently, Nico's dad was essentially, like Tim said, shopping him around to some West Coast teams and was saying, hey, my son's going to enter the transfer portal, and kind of seeing what he was going for, sort of.
Right.
And Dan Lanning was like, that's weird, and called Heupel and was like, hey, just so you know, Nico's shopping around on the here on the West Coast. So I don't know. Yeah.
If that's true, shout out Dan Lanning for being stand-up guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe he only did that because Nico didn't want to come to Oregon, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well watch this, buddy."
I'm not sure Lanning would have wanted him anyways. He certainly won't want to pay $4 million for him.
No, Dan Lanning likes 25-year-old quarterbacks who are like 5'9". Shout out Dylan Gabriel.
That is hilarious that he just called up Heupel. It's like, just so you know, it's very funny.
But shout out Heupel for just kind of being like, all right, you know what? I'll figure it out without you. Heupel's the guy. If we had a bad coach, I would be more nervous. Like if we were sitting here with, what's his face from Florida, or Matt Pittman or whatever his name is, Pittman from Arkansas. Like if we had a bad coach, I'm like, oh no, we're in trouble. Heupel, I trust Heupel. It might not be the year we were all kind of expecting. Might be a tough season. Yeah. We've got a big time freshman quarterback coming in that I keep forgetting his name. But
Faison.
Yeah, Brandon Faison. He seems like, I don't know. I saw a lot of stuff where he's like recruiting other top recruits, being like, let's go run it together. I like that.
Yeah, George McIntyre could be a dude as well. I mean, there's not saying that they couldn't. So who knows?
We will have to see.
That's been your Tennessee talk for the day.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely dove into that more than we did Tennessee versus Houston.
I don't remember that happening. Okay,
hey, we're a baseball school.
That's the show for you, folks. Thank you for listening. We will be back, as Tim said. NFL draft is upon us soon. We know how Mason and Tim's love the NFL draft, so we will have that coverage. Maybe we'll play a game with it. Maybe a competition.
That'd be fun.
We should have Mason and Tim's predict the top 10 in order and see who's closest.
See who can get closest.
Yeah.
All right. That'd be good. We'll do that.
Okay. And with that, we will see you next time.